Hello, everyone. What feels unlucky might be a lesson. This occurred a lot when I was doing rideshare many moons ago. One of the experiences I had, picked up the client and I was taking them to their destination, and I learned that through his complaining, him being upset, him just being in a negative headspace, and the reason behind it, which was he had got all his tires stolen. But it's was crazy how it happened. He said he went home from work, lay down, did his normal routine, woke up the next morning, his car was still there. However, all of his tires were gone. And I mean all. I don't mean one, two, or three, but every last one. So now, mind you, I'm driving into where he needs to be, and I'm just quiet because you know when someone gets in your car and they're just pissed off, you're like, this is one of those moments where just silence is golden. I don't say anything, but though I felt as though it was pockets I can say something because the guy would be like, "Can you believe this? Can you believe they did this?" And just as I was about to give my reason why I could believe it, the client he continued to talk and vent. He was just telling me about the place where he stayed at. He was asking why people would do that. Then he was saying what he would have did if he would saw the individuals. Now, mind you, by the time I wanted to give my feedback to his unfortunate situation, I had already made it to his destination. But once he left, I thought to myself, this can be a lesson for him. Because by the time he exited my vehicle, I was like, this is very unlucky. Because I do remember around that time period, a lot of individuals were getting their tires taken off, coming out of the crib and can't go nowhere, looking like you need to be at your nearest auto mechanic. And I say that facetiously, but that could have been me at one time. But I just thought about it. I was like, the lesson in this for my client and for any other individual that may have experienced this is that they need to make more money, get their money up, and they need to move to a different environment. Now, I want to say this. This could happen in any environment. Now, this is true. However, comma, the percentages are low depending on where you live. Like if you live in the suburbs, it can happen. But if you're in a gated community, it's less likely to happen. Now, he didn't come out and say that he was living in a food desert or he was living in a hood. But by his description, I was like, he was telling me what side of town he lived on. And I was like, oh, he's in the hood. And hey, the individual may not have the funds to do that. Now, another thing that he could do, or anyone in this situation could do, the lesson in this could be try to move in with a friend, preferably of the same gender. So there won't be no shacking. Now, if that's what you want to do, I ain't mad at you. Man or woman, if that's what you want to do, feel free. But I say moving with a friend or even a family member that stays in the influent area, because again, where you stay, your environment, it plays a role. It definitely plays a role. And the main lesson from his situation is people out here are crazy. I was like, why would someone do this? And out of all of the vehicles in his apartment complex, why his car? Because it's not like it was a 2022, 2023, 24, 25. From what he explained to me, I was thinking, did he piss someone off? Or maybe some individuals were bored. Either way, what feels unlucky might be a lesson, because the energy that the guy was coming with is that he was ready to move. And that makes sense. Some people don't put one foot in front of the other and don't think it's pressing until they feel pain. And it's not a gender thing, it's not a race thing. And anyone that does ride share and has listened to many, many stories, most individuals have decided to make change out of pain or a second necessity. And even those that do not do ride share from a business standpoint or a contractor standpoint, even if you're an individual that just gets in ride share to get where you need to go, you know, you all can let me know in the comments. And then there was another situation that was sadder than that. I had a woman whose name will remain nameless. She hopped in the back of my vehicle, and this was around 8 o'clock on a Thursday evening. And she had on some glasses, and it was dark. And I just thought it was weird. At first, I thought she was blind. No disrespect to those that are blind, because blind people have done a lot of amazing things and continue to do a lot of amazing things in this world. But something happened as I was driving. She dropped something, and she asked me to cut the light on for her. So of course I did while I was driving. And then I looked in the mirror and I saw like she had this, her face looked like she had got hit. And, you know, it dawned on me, because I was taking her to a different location from her home. And I was going to ask her what happened, but that was insensitive because I already knew what happened. Either she just got done boxing and she lost, or it was a domestic violence situation. And come to find out, that's what it was. It was the domestic violence situation. And she told me what happened. Her significant other had lost his job. He had got laid off. And, you know, she was paying all the bills. And they got into a confrontation with words. And she said something that evoked an unfortunate circumstance from him. And he ended up hitting her with a left hand. And the reason was because I think she got, from what she told me, she had got fed up with paying all the bills. Now, mind you, he had only been without a job for about a month, but that's still not credence for him to hit her. I mean, she was just telling the truth. And the truth is the truth. The truth hurts. The truth hurts. And I would never be an advocate for a man hitting a woman because he's telling the truth. And she told me that she didn't mean no harm. I was like, I hear you. I told her, I was like, yeah, I hear you. But as they say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. What feels unlucky might be a lesson. And to the dude that hit her, he was wild for that. That was uncalled for. Truth. One, he lost his job, so he should have already been at peace with that. Two, yeah, it could have sting with her saying that, but why would you hit her? I mean, at least he could have just said something back to her within reason. But again, that's none of my business. It was just it just felt very unlucky as I was taking the lady client to her cousin's house. But the lesson from that was what she was doing was to leave him. Because if he hits her once, most likely he would do it again. And who's to say it was his first time hitting her? And I think also the lesson in that situation was for one to choose their words wisely. You know. Now she could have said something different, and I can hear you. I can hear you all now saying, "Hey, she could have said something different, and he could have still hit her," and that's true. That's a delicate situation. I also think the man shouldn't be so vaginal and be sensitive. You know, just deal with it a different way. You know, go lift some weights, do some push-ups. But then again, I don't really think she respected him, because if she respected him, she would have never said that in the first place. Because one can say that she was just throwing up in his face and was waiting for the perfect reason or excuse. Nonetheless, the lesson in all of this is know who you're dealing with in a relationship. Some people got the energy to knock you out, and that's men and women. There's women that knock men out and beat men up every day. Even though it feels unlucky, there's always a lesson. So again, the lesson in that situation is just be with somebody that won't lay hands on you. Be with someone that will touch you in a soft way, not in an abusive way. And that's for both genders. You know? I mean, because he tore her face up. It looked like she got hit by Tyson in 89. I wanted to offer her some ice, but I didn't have no ice. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring you all this. Like, share, and subscribe. If you know someone that's going through something, that's trying to be better and need some suggestions, need some positive words, feel free to hit the link and go purchase my book. It'll help you. It'll help your friend. Hell, it'll even help your enemy or your family member. But again, like, share, and subscribe, and you all take care. Peace.